Islam, Islam, Islam. Moorish King, once again I come forth before you with another measure in regards to dealing with the divine origin of the Asiatic nations. And I will try to make this as brief as possible in light of the time in regards to dealing with the device, but also as clear as possible. But we were speaking of the original man coming forth on the first day. And that original man coming forth on the first day, and then the carnal man who came forth on the sixth day, the original man being the spirit man, is whom we refer to. Our holy prophet was the first to teach that through the circle 7, spirit man. Time never was when man was not. But here in verse 15 of the book of Psalms, written by David, he states, my substance, is Psalms 139, my substance was not hid from you when I was made in secret and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Here he's speaking of a time when he was on the level of protoplasm, when he was on the level of being an elemental being. And then he goes on to state, your eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect. In your book, all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them. So here he was speaking of his substance being seen, yet being unperfect, meaning he was incomplete. He wasn't fully manifest. And he spoke of the book, in the book of the great God, meaning his book of remembrance. Masterminds know this special book as the Akashic Records, the book of Allah's registry. He was there, written in the pages. And he also stated, how precious also are your thoughts unto me, O God. And how great is the psalm of them. He recognized that he was actually part and parcel of the psalm of the great God's thought. And this means that he knew that he was a thought of the great God made flesh, made manifest. So David, we give honors to him for this measure that he brought forth in the book of Psalms. And to move along, we can also go to another measure. And I think it might have been Jeremiah. And he didn't waste no time. Right here in chapter 1, he revealed in verses 4 and 5, then the word of the Lord came, if the sound went low, but he stated here in verses 4 and 5, then the word of the Lord came to me, saying, before I formed you in the belly, I knew you, and before you came forth out of the womb, I sanctified you, and I ordained you a prophet to the nations. So here Jeremiah brings forth a revelation of him being on the manifest as spirit man before he came into existence physically. This can also be likened to the meeting between Abraham and Melchizedek, where Abraham met Melchizedek while he was still within the loins of his father. And there's another measure to be given here as well. And this is actually coming from the Grand Quran. The Grand Quran of Muhammad. Okay. Oh, and it's right here. Surah 7, Ayat 172. When thy Lord drew forth from the children of Adam. When thy Lord drew forth from the children of Adam, from their loins, and their descendants, and made them testify concerning themselves, saying, am I not your Lord, who cherishes and sustains you? And they said, yeah, we do testify this, lest ye should say on the day of judgment, of this we were never mindful. In other words, this is special measure is when Adam, the spirit man, not the man who came forth later, You know, there are many different degrees of Adam, and you'll find this out later on down the line in some of my measures. But, you know, we were called forth, you know, by spirit man taking this covenant. We were a part and parcel of this covenant, just as we are with the holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. And we were told, the children of one father provided for by his care. You see, in the breast of one mother given he suck. But this covenant was made before we came into existence physically. Spirit man was given a soul that he might function on the plane of soul, and a body of flesh that he might function on the plane of things made manifest. So it shouldn't be a shock to those who know. And last but not least, we'll actually bring this to a closure, because I know I'm running out of time, and there ain't no telling when this device will shut down on me. This is coming from chapter 11, dealing with the sacred books. It states in Ayah 75, starting with it, and yonder in the kingdom of the soul, this carnal evolution is not known to the great work of masterminds is to restore the heritage of man, to bring him back to his estate that he had lost. And when he again will live upon the plane, upon the ethers of his native plane, the thoughts of Allah cannot change. The manifest of life on every plane unfolds, we are told, and into perfection of their kind. And as the thought of Allah can never die, there is not death to any being of the seven ethers of the seven spirits of the triune Allah. So this is the measure, and the drawing is that spirit man came through all forms of life. As the atom, Allah the original mind, or we say Allah the universal mind if we say Autum of ancient Kemet. So he came forth through all forms of life, and you can see that through Genesis chapter 1. You know, he came through all forms of life until he evolved into where you see him now. So that being said, we give honors to you. We say peace and love, and we hope we brought forth a clarity to you. And we say Islam, Islamism, and gratitude. See you on the next measure. Peace.